welcome back to the channel, guys. We're down at Brighton. Haven't been here in a few weeks, but just been pulling in some good fish. Yesterday a big cod was caught, day before that a big bass. Winds have laid off and the sun's out, so we're going to give it a bounce. Beautiful. Let's get out there. This is what I love most about Brighton Pier, the random electrical cables hanging in the water that you can tie your float off to so you can be free from it. Yeah, you did hear that right, electrical cables. Health and safety at its finest. This gun is an Epsilon, I hope I said that right, 75. It doesn't load properly, the spear doesn't click in properly, so once the band's on, sometimes it shoots off again. I have heard other people with the same gun have the same problem, but mine shoots quite good, so I'm sticking with it. Started off the dive with this little guy. Unfortunately he's not alive, bit of a shame. Takes me a while to get into the diving. Obviously the dive sensors need to kick in, I need to relax, I need to be one with the element, you know what I mean. Using the columns to dive down along. It does help camouflage and not spook the fish, and it does just give me a judgment on how deep I am. Visibility wise, this is quite a good day, although it looks crap. If that guy had never moved, I wouldn't have seen him. Silly bugger. Lovely colours on him though, such healthy fish under there. There's actually been an abundance of them, which is quite nice. Float tied off to another electrical cable, safety first. I think diving at the pier is quite a good place for beginners as well, just because if you get tired, you can hold on to the metal. If you get into trouble, you can hold on to the metal. You're pretty safe. Plus the ground's built up with a lot of offcuts of metal, big metal grids, so it generally does hold fish. It's almost like a metal reef. Again, diving down a column, must just be a comfort thing. Saw this guy there, headshot. They usually swim off when I come down from above, because their eyes are on top of their head. But no, he was just relying on his camera quite heavily. And there it is. Another mobile phone on the Brighton Pier that some teenagers dropped and it's fallen. We find so many. You see how I didn't put my hand in that hole to hold on? The last time I had a brown crab get my finger. That's in another video that I got. And there he is. This here is my biggest plaice I've shot. It was a beast. The size of that! Whoa!
massive.
Lovely size. Good to see such a big size under the pier. Dispatch it, knife in the head, give it a twist, job done. Usually cut the throat to bleed it, but I didn't this time. I forgot. I was actually really excited though. Shot a big fish. Well, big to me. So it's around about now that I've got comfortable in the water, I'm relaxed, I've slowed down. This little guy, he was lucky. Went to take the shot but I saw he was quite small, so I left him. And I actually followed him because I'm quite intrigued how they swim. Like a little magic carpet. I'm not one to go out and shoot everything I see. I actually like to take what I need, and then I do like to observe fish as well while I'm down there. I'm not just there to shoot them. Again, this guy relying on his camouflage. Luckily for him, I didn't want him. I've got my 3 fish. That's enough for me and my friends. Not a big fan of freezing fish. I like to shoot it, take it home, prep it. If not, eat it that night or the next day. Usually on a barbecue or in wraps. Nothing fancy. I'm not breading it or any of that. Just fry it and wrap it, mate. Or on the barbecue, actually. I like my crabs on the barbecue. This dive I had to stop halfway down because I couldn't move the race. And I quickly turned, headed straight back up, and ended up being I had to clear my sinuses, just a load of snot, and then I was fine again. If you ever get into that, don't carry on diving, turn around, because a damaged eardrum can keep you out of the water for weeks. For the sake of just blowing a load of snot on the surface and then go back down, just do it. I've never dived this little spot. I've actually seen it in one of Daniel Mann's videos, but every time I dive Brighton Pier I find something different under there, and this was it. Just a load of bait fish, nothing great, but it was pretty cool. How I dive Brighton Pier is just work my way along, dive down, couple of dives, head back up, probably move my float say 5 meters along, dive down there, and just generally work my way to the end of the pier and then just come back. I just find it covers a lot of area. See, this is more in the middle of the pier, so it's quite dark and eerie. I don't find a lot of fish in the middle of the pier. Other people do, but I get better luck on the outside, on the outskirts of it, just where the sun meets the shade. I generally will lay in the shade and look out towards the sun, and there'll be some in. I also find the plaice are the same side as where the sun shines. So in the morning they're on the left hand side, in the evening they're on the right hand side. This is one thing I need to work on. I move my head too much and too quickly. I probably scare half my fish away because I'm fucking looking left, right and centre at a million miles an hour. See? That was miss number 1. And that was miss number 2. This isn't one of those spearfishing channels where I just show every shot hit a fish. But this was the hardest time to load with all these fish swimming around me. I was borderline panicking trying to rush it. Every time I rush it, you just create knots. So I just kept it slow. And then I realised it was mullet, and the amount of poo that southern waters have pumped into the water, I went in a rush to shoot one of them. They like a bit of poo. Realising how many mullet there were, I decided to dive down, plant myself from the bottom and just sit there still and see what they do. It was actually amazing what they do. I have never seen so many fish under Brighton Pier. I've had this happen to me in Devon with sea bass, or bass for the fussy ones. Weirdly enough, they'll swim around you, but as soon as you point a gun at one, it will swim off. Almost instinct for it. But absolutely incredible, the numbers. Sitting there watching it and not shoot one was more enjoyable than shooting one and disturbing them. There was the odd big boy that come by that I did point the gun at thinking should I, but I didn't, like this. Luckily enough, I didn't completely scare them off, so I was able to dive down for a second time. Not so many around me this time. Then I noticed a few above. Done the old scent up the bubble trick, see if I can lure them in. Yeah, boy. So this is actually the first time I've ever filleted a plaice. You run your finger along the spine, follow it with a knife, cut down till you hit the bones. My knife isn't that sharp. I sort of felt where the flesh stopped, and then it just feels a bit squidgy. That's where the guts are, so I just cut there. And then you just pretty much run the knife along the bones. It was fairly easy. I didn't do the best job, but oh well. I try not to waste any of the fish. Like, I cut a lot of the meat off, and whatever I don't eat, I usually freeze it, and the next time I go down to the ocean I just throw it back in so someone eats it. My tips for doing this would be have a towel. You see how much that fish is slipping about. Place it on the towel. Use a towel to grip the fish as well. I'm surprised I didn't cut myself doing this. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty bad. But again, turn it over. Follow the knife along the spine. And then yeah, just run your knife off till the fillets come off. Getting the flesh off the skin, just lay it flat, run the knife along it flat. Again, I didn't do the best job, but the dogs ended up eating that skin, so it didn't get wasted. Voila! And that's all the offcuts ready to go in the freezer and then back in the ocean. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys.